Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing okay. I wanted to make a slightly different video this week, mostly because an Attic Archives episode just didn't really pull together, but also because I really do hate January. I guess this is like the very autistic and very tired equivalent of a That Girl Reset video, except I'm really just trying to make my life a little bit easier. I'm trying to recover some routines that I know help me do that. And I'm trying to just like pace my way through it, if that makes sense. Above all else though, I'm just sort of letting myself exist and breathe through what I know is a difficult time of year for me. And it's always quite a difficult time of year. I guess I'm at the point where I've had enough therapy to know there isn't really much point in getting frustrated or trying to force things to be different. When you're disabled, sometimes things just are, and you can't really shake them off or force yourself through. You really just have to go gently and quietly and wait for things to ease back up. So January and February are difficult times for me. So if you were thinking, oh, it's okay that you hate January, there's only like 5 days left. I actually struggle from New Year's, well, I guess I struggle from Christmas through New Year's up until my birthday passes. My birthday is the middle of February. It's February 16th, which is literally almost the middle of February. And that whole period of time I find really strange to deal with. It's not something I really have words for, at least not good words. But it is a time that I find difficult. I spoke about it a bit, I think, in my first January video, where I mentioned that I had a weird childhood, and I spent a lot of my life not wanting or expecting to be alive for very long. And the problem with a childhood like that is that it really shapes the way you learn to think about things. It really shapes the way you learn to think about the future, and about your future, your sense of self. So I have a really hard time thinking about the future. So things like New Year's and birthdays are a strangely triggering time. To be fair, nothing super bad, I don't think, has ever really happened to me on my birthday or New Year's. But I do find them very uncomfortable times to sit with. And the approach to them is always a bit weird. So the long story short is I'm in a weird place, and my past has taught me that I can't just force my way through it. It's not really like a do a workout and drink a green smoothie kind of thing. As an autistic person, I'm not sure that it's ever a workout and drink a green smoothie kind of thing. It's really just to reinforce your routines and be nice to yourself and wait for it to pass kind of thing. So I thought I would make a video about how my week has looked, the things that I've done, just to share it, because that's what I have this week, but also in case anyone is going through anything similar. I know it can be really hard to remember what you need to be doing when you feel this way. It can get kind of hazy quite quickly. This whole week for me has been incredibly hazy. That's the only way I can describe it. It's just like, I don't know where I am and I don't know what I'm doing. So yeah. The first thing I did this week was start to build a new sensorial comfort box. I don't know how you would call this. It sounds really boring. It sounds like something you find in a guidance counsellor's office. If anyone has a better way to talk about this, let me know. And a big part of building this was making some new index cards. So I have included that footage because a lot of you were asking how I make my index cards. The first clips you saw were me putting together the text in a Word document. I use 7x14 labels, so it's 2 rows of 7 labels, and I buy these from any stationery shop, and then you use a format to print on the labels, I guess. So I typed up some reminders, some checks for myself, and some instructions, because sometimes when I'm really struggling, I forget what I should be doing when I have things like headaches. So I put a guide for sensory overload, for headaches, for migraines, which are different. Some reminders of easy foods I like to eat, that kind of thing. That's what I'm sticking now. And then I also printed out some quotes as well, just for something to read. And then what I do once this is all finished is compile them all up and collect them for my sensory box. In the end, I decided to split the 2 sets of cards down. Basically, I split all of the cards down into 2 sets. So I took the elastic band, I think, and the clip from an old set of reminder cards that I used to carry with me. And I put the quotes in one pile. And then I put my reminders and checks in a second pile so that they're easier to sort through. I was worried that although they would all fit in the clip, I think if they were in one big pile, I would get a bit lost looking for my reminders. And I decided it was probably important that those are as easy to find as possible. When you're autistic and doing a bit of a struggle, it's like everything gets so much harder, almost like I was going to say for no reason, but it's not really for no reason, is it? It's just that if you're autistic and struggling, I feel like you start to lose skills, you start to get really confused, and you can't remember how to find the things you need to help you. So even if you have the best system in the universe going, even if you have planners and organizers and I don't know what else, if you are struggling, suddenly you forget those things exist, you can't remember where to find them, or at least in my experience, obviously. So I split it down into 2 piles so that things would hopefully be super easy to find. Yeah. And then I collect them up, ready to build my sensory box. How to talk about the sensory box? I think as an autistic adult, it's easy to forget how much you need to be interacting with your senses. I guess I'm talking about things like stimming and sensory regulation, taking care of yourself. If you are late diagnosed, then I think, I don't know how to say it. Basically, autistic children, if they're diagnosed quite young and they have a good support system and they have good things in place, then a lot of autistic kids have sensory diets, which is where they have a routine and a schedule of using their senses to make sure that they're regulated, which is pretty incredible. If you're a late diagnosed autistic adult, you didn't have that, and you have to learn how to look after yourself like that much, much later, and I find that quite hard. Here I'm just showing that I collected some of my autistic stuff, if you will, in a box ready to sort through. The little brown wooden box is my stim box that I showed in a different video, so I pulled that out ready to sort through, and I collected a bunch of stuff I thought I might need. The crate I'm using to build my box is not a hay crate. I can't remember what the brand is, but I'll link it in the description if I can find it. It's just a dupe for the hay crate. I think they're almost comparable in price though, so it's not really worth buying. But I will link it. Yeah, so as an autistic adult, and if you're late diagnosed, I think it can be really hard to remember how much you need to stim and be interacting with your senses in a way that is healthy for you. So when I was building this box, I had it with the idea of I would put it in reach of my desk and I would just put things in there that I would reach for, so stims that I would reach for or books that help inspire me to draw and stuff. Migraine forehead patches, which are always a big part of my life. Painkillers. I have separate painkillers for migraines. The ones I show I actually just use for headaches. And then I have separate prescribed migraine painkillers. Ear defenders. I think in the end I didn't include these in the box. I show it in the box, but I think I put them back in the cupboard because I'm more likely to listen to music nowadays. I do put a pair of earplugs in the box though. This is a deck of cloud cards that my grandmother got me for my birthday, I think. They're really beautiful just to look through. They show different types of clouds, and then on the reverse there's text about what it's called scientifically and how they're formed, I guess, scientifically. If you can hear my voice shaking, I'm so sorry. Talking about autistic stuff really wigs me out. So I'm a bit shaky, and also just because I'm having a weird time in it, so forgive me. So when I built the box, I was trying to make sure that I hit most of the senses, basically. This helps anyone. I think it's a thing they do for anxiety as well, so it's not just autistic. But I tried to have something soft to touch, something pretty to look at, something to listen to would be like music, but I don't want to put my headphones in the box. But that kind of thing, I guess. I put some very obvious stims in the box. This lumpy wooden ball thing is really cool. It was sold out where my dad got it from when I last linked it, but the link is in my stim video that I made. and I put it in the box. Rubik's Cube, I don't know why I stumbled over that. Rubik's Cube. I'm not very good at solving them because I have dyscalculia. I'm not good at looking at patterns and thinking ahead mathematically, so I can't do it. But I do love the tactile sensation of turning the Rubik's Cube. And this is, I don't know what you call them, ink drop timers. That one's from Flying Tiger. I got it like 6 or 7 years ago now. And this wiggly wobbly snake thing, it's like a worm. Basically just a bunch of stims that are really satisfying to hold and to feel, like tactilely. I'm not sure tactilely is a word, but just helped me. And then I added a Sherlock Holmes book for obvious reasons. I don't think we have to talk about that again. So I tried to make sure most of the senses were covered, nothing too stressful. A warm pair of socks that I knew, haven't worn them yet. I always think that's a nice inclusion if I'm nervous or overwhelmed or overloaded, or just having a really sad time. I get really cold. It's happening now, that's why my voice is shaking, because I'm nervous to talk about it, so it's making me shaky. I get really cold, so to include a warm pair of soft socks was a no-brainer for me, and then just this little My Leg Mouse, because it's nice to have a little companion. I didn't include this one. I do like it, but I just didn't think it was worth including. It doesn't really do it for me tactilely in the same way that the Rubik's Cube and the snake and stuff do. And then the index cards that you watch me prepare as well. So that's what's in the box, basically. I also looked through my stim box, but I only chose the Tangle. I think I did find my earplugs in here, though. And a fidget spinner. Fidget spinners had their 5 minutes of fame, but as an autistic, I think they are a classic. They are very satisfying to hold. I never got over it. So, yeah, just looking through my box, but I don't think I choose anything else apart from the earplugs. I put the box back in my chest of drawers in the other side of the room, which is where it lives, so I can take other stuff out of it if I need to. The idea for this sensory box is that I put it on the table at the end of my bed so I can reach it from my desk. I'll show you at the end. It's literally like, it means that all of the stuff that I should be using daily to help regulate myself is now within plain sight and arm's reach at all times. Before that, this stuff was just tucked around in different drawers, and so I really wasn't remembering to get it out and use it when I needed it. Not only that, but I was forgetting it existed. I have real problems. I think it's common in neurodivergent folk, ADHD and autism especially, but the whole, like, out of sight, out of mind thing. If I can't see something, I forget that I have it, and I forget that I need to use it to look after myself. So just collecting all this stuff up and then putting it on the table at the end of my bed is a big help. The last thing I added was that little lamp. I really love it. This is the table, and it's within arm's reach of the desk. So it's really good. The lamp I love just because I love a little light changing. I'm definitely a glowy light autistic if I had to categorize myself. Yeah, arm's reach. Another thing that I've been doing recently is just playing a lot of Animal Crossing again. If you played it originally in 2020, back when it came out, you probably have also been experiencing the great Animal Crossing burnout. But I really love Animal Crossing. I've been playing it since Wild World on the DS. And we played City Folk on the Wii. So I'm a big fan of Animal Crossing. It's been with me throughout my life, and it's always really, really appealed to me. I played Wild World and New Leaf especially for multiple years each, but I did get burnout playing New Horizons. Recently I picked it back up, and I was having that whole crisis about whether to flatten or rebuild my island. Basically, whether to spend the time flattening my island to rebuild it or to restart the whole game. If you restart the whole game, any players will know that you lose all of your DIYs and your money and stuff, which is a literal nightmare. In previous games, you could sell your old island and then keep your catalogue and you'd get money to start your new game with, and that was so genius, and I just want to know why, Nintendo. I think in a lot of ways Nintendo did us so dirty with this game. I won't elaborate because this isn't an Animal Crossing video, but I do think Nintendo did us so dirty with this installment. In a lot of ways, the customization is amazing, and that's part of why I've picked it back up now. I think the fact that Animal Crossing is so routine driven and so gentle and predictable, it makes it a fantastic game for autistic people, especially if you're struggling, or you're burnt out, or you're just having a weird time like I am. I think the fact that it's so routine driven is so good, so good. And the customization this time as well is also fantastic. I decided to flatten it, and I spent the last 2 weeks-ish approximately rebuilding it. And now I'm super happy with it. I am playing a lot now, now that I've rebuilt it and I'm happy with it. It's just nice when I'm having a moment and I'm getting a bit stressed. I'll probably play after I finish this recording. When I'm a bit stressed and I'm a bit shaky, it's nice to just pick it up and to know what I will see, like to know what to expect from it. Like nothing changes in Animal Crossing. I'll open my game and I can talk to my same loop of favorite villagers. I can walk through the areas that I have designed to be aesthetically pleasing to me. And I can exist within that gentle routine and narrative that I know to expect because I spent my whole childhood playing the games, if that makes sense. So I feel like this one is a bit of a cop-out, but Animal Crossing has really been helping me these last few weeks. I first picked it up, I think, just before Christmas, so it really has been with me these last couple of months when I've been, like, in the horrors. And if you don't play Animal Crossing, or you're still burnt out, or you just hate it, any cozy game, I think, that is routine-driven will have the same effect. I wouldn't really call myself a cozy gamer because I need a specific amount of aesthetically pleasing gentleness matched with enough to do. Some cozy games I find too boring. I need just the right amount of stimulation to keep me occupied and to distract me in the way that I need. And Animal Crossing doesn't always do that for me because it is very repetitive and you can get very bored, but at the moment, thankfully, I think because I did just rebuild it, it is managing to hit that spot for me and keep me distracted. So I'm grateful. I am currently trying to collect the villagers I want. I have most of them because I have amiibos for my immediate favourites. Lucky and Teddy are two of my favourites. Lucky is my favourite. He's my ride or die. And I have like 4 of his amiibos. I don't know how it happened, but I'm glad to have them as like just in case. Like I'll never be without him. I need to scan Coco's card in. I have her amiibo card. But I just got Shep, and I've never had him before, but he's really cool. I thought he'd be another lazy villager, and I was really annoyed, but he's smug, so it hits another villager type for my island, which is great, because I think he's pretty cool. He actually only moved into my island yesterday, so it's really exciting. Apart from Animal Crossing, which I feel like I spend a disproportionate amount of time talking about, but it has been really helping me, I've also been trying to get back into sketchbook work. My sketchbooks are digital. I used to be a traditional artist, and then I went to art school, and I did a lot of traditional art. And then in my like 3rd year, I started to use Procreate, and I got really into it. And now I'm not a traditional artist anymore. I don't even use both. I don't use both. I just work digitally. I don't know if it's partly because I'm autistic, but digital art really changed the game for me. I like how clean things are. I like how easy it is to change your mind and undo things. I love how easy it is to copy and paste things. I don't know if it's the echolalia kind of thing, but the repetition, I love repetition. A lot of people will notice that I often use the same things in my sketchbook all the time. Like I'll copy and paste the same scribbles over. And I like that those images are recurring. It's like a language I can use to draw with. And I really enjoy that. Aside from that, sketchbook work really helps me to process things. That's why I started making my mundane zine a couple of years ago. And that's what I'm trying to work on again now, is a new issue of Mundane. But I feel very rusty. I've been art blocked, I would say, for over a year. I think I had a lucky break when I was working on my Halloween project and some other bits, maybe like sticker sheets throughout the year, but largely speaking, I felt so art blocked. Drawing is something that used to come super naturally to me. Not supernaturally, super naturally. I used to just draw to process. It's always been how I've existed, even in school. Like, I just would always. It doesn't feel like that anymore, and I'm not sure if it's because maybe I do have a larger autistic burnout going on and I'm not just in a funny space, because I feel like every week I'm in a funny space. I'm honestly trying not to think not too hard about the potential of me being actually autistically burnt out, because I don't feel emotionally ready to face that. But I'm trying to get back into sketchbook work because I know it helps me. It's really easy to procrastinate sketchbook work if I'm not feeling up to it, because I can just refocus on making videos instead, which is so nice because it's so freeing and it's a different type of creativity. But I'm at the point where I feel like not being able to do sketchbook work is affecting me negatively. So I'm trying to get back into it. Again, I'm not really trying to force it. I'm just trying to sit down every day and give it a go. I'm not sitting there saying, okay, I'm going to do a sketchbook page for a week, because I don't think that's fair on myself. I don't think it's fair to force yourself like that if you're an artist or if you have a disability or both. I don't want to make things harder than they need to be for myself. I would rather be gentle and see what comes of it than take that girl forcing myself to wake up at 5:30 in the morning and be absolutely maximized productivity every day. I just have never been that person. I never will be that person. You'll never get that on this channel. So I'm trying to ease back into sketchbook work. It's going okay, I think. It's not going terribly. I did some pages recently. I'll pop them on the screen. And I've been sharing them on Patreon and on Tumblr, and it's quite nice. Yeah, hopefully the art block will one day be defeated. Yeah, but drawing helps me process, so I'm trying to ease back into that as much as I can. And sketchbook pages always feel like the freest and best place to do that, so hence the focus. Apart from that, I think that's it this week, really. I hope this helps somehow. I think if you're disabled, if you're autistic, if you're neurodivergent, if you have mental health difficulties or illnesses, I think you just have to be nice to yourself. I hate the trend of the that girl approach. I hate all of it. I hate all of the girl boss stuff. I don't know what it's called now. Clean girl, that crap. Hate it. Hate all of it. Really hate it. So if you hate it too, then you're in the right place, because I will never be taking those kinds of approaches. I will say that I have made an effort this week to clean my room as well. I do think that's a thing that you have to do. I do not think that dicing a mango and a banana and making a smoothie is the answer, but I do think that cleaning your space will help you a lot if you're able to do it. I think after this I'm gonna make a nice drink, because that's nice for myself. I'm gonna play Animal Crossing for a bit longer, and then maybe I will try and finish that sketchbook page. Yeah. It's a lot of talking this week. I'm so sorry that it's not a normal video. I hope that you enjoyed it. I actually got some anons on Tumblr this week, both saying that the talking segments were their favourite and they wish they were longer. So this one is for you guys specifically. I'm glad you like the talking segments. I hope my shaky voice wasn't too weird. I could definitely hear it getting bad in some places, but this is what I have this week, and this is what I wanted to show you, is that I'm having a bad time. I'm not having a cute little aesthetic time. Maybe I am. I'm still having a romantically cute time. It's just that I'm also in the horrors. But I hope this helps one day. Maybe if you're also having a bad time, you can come back and watch it. But this is my week this week. It's just me trying not to actively want to not be alive until my birthday passes in February. Not sure what next week will look like. Hopefully more back to normal. But yeah, here's to being honest on the internet. Thank you, I hate it. No, it's fine. It's fine. I'm glad to share. I'm glad to be honest. Being autistic is not always fun. Sometimes you had a hard childhood and now sometimes you're triggered for months and then it passes. And it's fine. So that's where we're at. I hope you enjoyed. I hope it's helpful. I hope you have a good week. I hope you're having a better time than I am. And I will see you next week.
우리야 유고민 그나 그리레스거든. 우르스 장마 이르스 저다스 헤르스. 우리미즈